Hey guys, welcome to the Diamond District. So I wanted to cover this pattern that I noticed when I was studying very successful people over the years. And I would notice this would be the case for musicians, for entrepreneurs, for scientists, for whatever the case may be. Like, pick a field, it seems like they went through this as well. Now, it's essentially three phases. The first phase is the formative years. So they finally settle on something they want to do. And whether it's a crystal clear vision of what it is, whether it's a general idea of what it is, or whether it's just a vague vision, they have now acquired a direction. And once you head in a direction, your journey has started. Now, I've spoken about this multiple times, but once you go on a journey, the work will work on you. You go through a transformative process where you develop new mindsets, new perspectives, you build new relationships, you have a new relationship with yourself and life, you develop new skill sets. Now, once you have gone through that phase of formation and you've developed a skill set, or you have developed an idea, concept, or product that you feel if you were to offer it to the world, it would benefit the world, and there's monetary value in it, you've now entered the offering phase. This is essentially where human beings are putting themselves out there and saying, this is the value that I have to offer, and this is how much it costs. And all you have to do is get people to agree with you. All you have to do is get people to agree with you when you say your services cost X amount of dollars. So let's say you do hair. Let's say you paint. Let's say you do anything at all. And you say this is the price. All you have to do is get people to agree with you. But the thing is, that is very difficult sometimes because people are always going to try to find a way to pay less. Even though people really value quality more than anything. But there's a balance to it. But you should never, ever take a loss for the sake of someone else's comfort in any regards. In any regards, especially in business. So if there's something that you know you can offer to the world, a product, a service, an idea, and you have this dollar amount in your mind that you kind of a bit intimidated to really say out loud because it sounds kind of crazy, stick to that. Stick to that price. Let me tell you why. There was this really interesting example that a favorite rapper of mine, Nipsey Hussle, had brought up, where he initially had released a mixtape and he had offered it for free, but he also sold it for $100 a piece. So you could either get it for free or you could buy it for $100. He made, I think, well over $500K from that endeavor. Now, that sounds crazy because how could you make profit if the product was free? It's because he essentially said, I understand people may not be able to get this, but this is the true value of the product. And this is how I view it. And people supported this. And if you portray yourself, project yourself, that what you have to offer is of value, people are going to support it no matter what. No matter what. You have to convince yourself first, then you're going to have to convince these people that what you have to offer is worth this amount. Nipsey Hussle got the idea from reading this book. I forget the name of the book. And the example they used in the book was an example of a Philly cheesesteak shop that was charging $100 a Philly cheesesteak. Now, the dollar amount was so outrageous that it quite literally caused people to be curious, like, well, what is this about? And then it became a status symbol where it's just like, I'm out here with my girl, I'm taking her on a date, I'm paying $100 for sandwiches, I'm really getting it. And that might sound insane to you, But people truly, truly, truly think like that. And I may have mentioned this before. I had a classmate of mine. His name was Muhammad, tall African brother. And I remember we would talk about fashion all the time. And he told me one day, like, why he stopped wearing Billionaire Boys Club. And he was like, because they lowered the prices. And I was just like, what do you mean? He was like, well, I only wear BAPE because it's $100 or $112. They have like odd prices, $112 a pop. But Billionaire Boys Club is like $50 a t-shirt now. I can't fuck with that. And that put my mind in a blender for years every time I thought about that conversation. But I understood that something about the pricing implied exclusivity. Something about the pricing implied value to him. So even though the designs were still of quality at the time, and they're still pretty decent now, they were still of quality at the time, his perceived value of it changed because it became more accessible. You know what I mean? Sometimes you could think like, I'm charging way too much, but you're thinking from a very specific perspective of a very specific financial class, and you got to think bigger. You got to think way bigger than what you're thinking. You have to see the world from a whole different perspective. You could be offering, let's say, $1,000 for something. There's a class of people who are going to look at this and say, that's way too much fucking money. And there's another class of people who are going to say, that's all. And they all live in the same place. They can all go to the same locations. They can all shop at the same stores. And the internet is far reaching. So the same people who can look at your stuff and say, this is way too much, within that same minute, there is a person who is looking at it saying, oh, $1,000, that's it? Oh, what a bargain, what a steal. So you need to understand that that offering stage is going to permanently shift your paradigm on what kind of value you can offer to the market and how much money you can make. Because ultimately speaking, you can make so much fucking money. It's all about how you see yourself. Because how you see yourself and how you treat yourself is going to cause other people to see you just like that and treat you just like that. And once you master that aspect, then you have your breakthrough. Then you reach that point where you're in a state of disbelief. Like, I cannot believe I just made $1 million this year. I can't believe I just made $10 million this year. I never thought I'd make $30 million this year. I never thought I'd touch $100 million in my lifetime. Understand that how you see yourself and how you see your value and the value you have to offer to the world, however you see it, the world is going to agree with you. The world is going to agree with the value. You can make the world agree with you even if the pricing is outrageous. But if you see yourself in a specific light, best believe the world will see it too. So it's better for you to champion yourself. It's better for you to campaign for yourself than to lowball yourself. Go out there and let the world know that you are valuable and you have value to offer.